Everybody has kind of like their own opinion about Dubai, but what I do really appreciate, especially with the contrast coming from South Africa to here, is the safety aspect, because this is literally one of the, if not the safest place that I've ever been to. Like people don't even lock their doors. You could leave your car keys on the car. Like when you leave your phone in a restaurant or something like that, you can be sure it will be left there. And especially since we came from Cape Town, where you know, like you have to pay attention to certain times of the day or certain areas that you go to that you're not going. It's quite a refreshing feeling to like not have always a second pair of eyes in the back of your head and just like go about your day without having to look around and be always on alert.
I always like to start my days and finish my days actually with a little bit of a walk in the morning to get you going, to get your blood flow going, to start the day, clear your head, and doing the same in the evening, especially if you have dinner and it's a little bit of a bigger dinner. It makes sense to have a small walk afterwards, because the walking after a meal will help you also with glucose management, blood sugar management. And in general, it's like a healthy practice to do. Most people don't walk enough. The average people walk probably like around 4,000 to 6,000 steps. You should never get below 6,000, ideally between 8 to 10. More is always welcome, but anything less than 6,000 will have negative impacts on your health.
I generally prefer way more to use Ubers or being driven to wherever I'm going to go to, because it allows you to spend time, you know, like catching up on emails, replying to clients, organizing team, delegating if necessary, and just, making more time, making more use of your time. That's what I wanted to say. There is a specific training technique that can cut your workouts in half. Nice. There are actually multiple ones, but one that I really like to utilize and also utilize with myself if I need to, if I'm short on time, or my clients, is something called myo reps, or also known as rest pulse. It's very efficient. You essentially like to pick one exercise per muscle group, so chest, back, legs, a hinge, arms, if you also want to do that. You only need to do one exercise in one set, but you do it in a specific way. You're not doing one traditional set like you're used to, but you're doing a big set and then you follow up with so-called myo sets. So how that would look like, you pick a weight that you can move for 15 to 20 repetitions. You warm up first, but since it's a weight that is relatively light because you can move it for 15 to 10, you don't need to do like 3 or 4 more. Usually 1 or 2, you'll be fine. You start, you do your first set until you, like I said, when you land in the 15 to 20 rep range, and then you do your first set, you rest for 5 seconds only, and then you go again. So most likely it's gonna look like you do your first set, you maybe get 18, you rest for 5 seconds, then you maybe only gonna get 10, maybe 9, rest another 5 seconds, you maybe only are gonna get 7 or maybe 5. And then you do that until you can only do less than 1, and then you're done. Then your muscles are completely out. What that does is you do less total reps, but all the reps that you do, the few reps that you do after your first set, are going to be in a state where your muscle is already pre-fatigued and that are much more effective repetitions, because your muscle is already fatigued, you have like tension already built from the previous sets, and you do one set that's going to maybe take you 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, and then you're done for that. Do that 5 times, that's 15 minutes. Realistically, it's probably going to take you like 25 minutes with warming up and getting around those shoes and setting it up. But you can get a very productive workout done in 25 minutes, while others are spending an hour getting. you saw what I did now in the end, these partial repetitions. Recent studies, the research now pointing more towards favor, like builds more muscle when you spend more time in the length and position of the exercise, meaning in this particular trend, when you're up here. For example, on a push-up or a chest press, it would be here. So it makes sense for us, so not only for mobility and flexibility purposes, because you want to train a big range of motion, it also grows more muscle, it is more effective. And that's why the training principles that I teach always focus or have an emphasis on the length part of the exercise. Meaning a technique or a tempo cue that I teach is called X041. Meaning, in this particular example, X, the traction, explosive, that's the X. Zero meaning you don't need to spend time here in the contract position, it's not necessary. When X0, the 4, you spend 4 seconds in the lengthened part, letting the muscle stretch in the eccentric part, and then 1, you spend 1 section in the stretch position. So you spend a lot of time, or the focus is to spend a lot of time in the lengthened position of the muscle, which again grows more muscle, it's healthier for your body, it's healthier for your muscle length, your mobility, flexibility, and you're getting more jags.